Hi everyone, I am about to start book 3 of the 12, and I decided that what I wanted to do was to share the cover, doing the cover part from beginning to end kind of thing. So there's some couple of things that I've changed since the first time I did it. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this whole video on one book so that we can so I can show it all at one time. So this is cover 3, and so just to show you what we're going to walk through today, we're going to gut the book. I'm going to put the spine piece, cut the spine out, and we're going to attach the foam just in one place, and the fabric and this back piece here. All right, so I did start with an inexpensive book. This is very heavy chipboard, and it's worth buying a cheap book. This was $1, and using that versus buying this weight of chipboard. All right, so this is one of the books I've already gutted, and I'm using it, as you can see, to get my hose in place for the spine. I'm going to put that aside. And so with this, since I am going to go ahead and get rid of the whole spine, I'm just going to pull this apart, one of the first steps, and I'm going to cut it right on this line and try to get rid of the book pages and the old spine at the same time, because you see here I decided that my books, my finished journals, were already too fat for and so even though it has a tie closure that'll help that, as the people that I give this to put items in, it's gonna, be an alligator mouth is what this is called. So I decided to go ahead, reduce some of the bulk I had in it, but I would go ahead and just replace the spine, which is what I did with this one already. I cut the spine out and I used a new piece of chipboard to create the new spine. All right, so in this, bear in mind this is the first time I've actually done it this way. Your hands should be nowhere near. I'm doing a score line basically the first time. Then I go back through again and again. Let's see. And come on this side. See if that helps it. Tools matter, so having a sharp X-Acto knife is recommended. Okay. All right, so this is my cover to my book, to my new book. And this will be the back. All right, so I was able to get that book out. I haven't really read the book, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep those pages or not to use in other journal methods. But anyway, I'm glad that this didn't get cut on one of them, and so this will actually become my front, because what I do is lay this across the new spine. So I have my 2 pieces. And let me clean this up a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to take a piece of chipboard. This actually came from some file folders that you could expand at the bottom, and we weren't using that feature, so I got a whole stack of these. All right. I am going to measure this against the book and make it the same height. It doesn't need to be perfect because, so I'm not going to actually measure. I'm just going to not going to use a ruler because the book's going to be covered. All right, so I have my piece. Then I'm going to take masking tape. Making it longer than the spine. All right, so we got that. Oh. Getting that out. The masking tape sticks, it sticks. All right. All right. Go ahead and line that up with here. This is called a gusset. Kind of helps give a space for the book to close and open without grinding against each other. So I kept this gusset from the original book. Put this over here. Go ahead and wrap that like that. Wrap that there. All right, now this page I want to fold over, so I'm just going to go in here and cut that. Have that cut. I'm gonna get some new blades one day. And so now this is my new spine, and I'm going to fold this over like this so that I can get that measurement there. All right, and then what I'm gonna do, based on my signatures, I know that I want my spine, my top hose to be about 2 inches down so that it catches the shortest signature, and then it can be about 1 inch or so up. It doesn't really matter, again, because we're going to hide all this with fabric. If I was going to do it just straight here where you could see this on the outside, then I would be more exact about this far from the top, this far from the bottom, and straight in the middle. But it's not as necessary. All right, so then come back in here with my ruler. It's about 2 inches, which is perfect. Perfect to measure with because I need 3 holes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark at the 1 inch, and then half of that and half of that, and that works out. Come down to the bottom, or come down to the middle, and do the same thing with the 1 inch, half of that, and half of that. About right here. 1 inch, half of that, and half of that. All right, so this is where I'm going to punch through with my awl is what it would be called if you ordered one by itself. And awl, what else do they call it? Well, anyway, it comes in a kit as well when you get the thread, the bookbinding thread. All right, so I have that done. And as you see on this one, I attached the foam to right here. I just glued it along the very edge of the front, but it's still loose on the other side. And then I put the fabric underneath. And so we're going to do that part with my wrap that I'm going to use, so that we can punch a hole right here for the button. And then after we poke these holes, then we'll secure the fabric to the back cover, at least in one spot, so that when you punch through here, the fabric doesn't move and you got holes in the wrong place on the fabric in the book. All right, so in here, I'm going to grab that book that we've been using to punch holes, and right where I put my little dots, press down, get all the way through to the book. And you can kind of feel when it's gone through the hardcover, the chipboard, and now it's in the paper. All right, so I got that done. Gonna grab my fabric. Luckily, when I pre-cut this fabric, I did leave a generous amount around the edges. So me extending the what do you call this? I'm sorry. The spine wasn't too bad. My desk is a mess because I've been working on this all morning. This is one of the books, the original book, so you can see it's about a ½ inch wider, this new spine that I'm putting in. That to the side. All right. And get my foam. In this, I decided that the foam just on the front was okay, which will save on what I'm doing, things that I'm using up. I'm just going to put a bead of glue right along the edge for this foam. Make sure the foam comes all the way to the edge. And then kind of center my fabric. And I'm going to fold it over. Right now I'm just going to use a clip to hold it. All right. Use the book again. And again, I'm eyeing this. If you want to be more precise, you can make sure it's right in the middle. It's up to you. And I'm going to take my punch tool and about a ½ inch from the edge, I'm going to kind of dig this around to spread that hole out, especially in the fabric, so that I can see it. I have these buttons And so I put a piece of wire on the back of the button through the hole. All right. I have my tattered ribbon that I'm using to cover the book. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, make sure that I have enough length on either side of the book so that it ties well. So I want to make sure my center of this is at the middle of the spine. Kind of guesstimating that too. And I'm going to punch a hole through here. And it's really thin fabric, so it wasn't a major thing to do that. Then probably could have just used my little wire to do it. Pressing that through. All right. Getting that through. There we go. All right, so now we have the button in the front. I'm just going to twist that a couple of times, kind of tighten it up and spread out the wire like that. All right. Now on this side, I need to attach the this paper, this fabric to the back of the cover before I punch these holes before I punch these holes, so that the fabric doesn't move around and then I have my holes in the wrong place. So I'm just going to actually, instead of using a strip of glue, go ahead and close this up. Instead of using the twist on top, I just put a tack in there because it's easier to do it real quick. All right, and grab the double-sided tape. Again, the purpose of this is just to secure it while we're punching. So I don't need to cover the book and all that right now. Glue, liquid sticks, glue sticks, or with tape, the whole main point, you have to make sure it makes contact. So burnishing it is a good thing to do. All right, now I want to kind of make sure my fabric is as taut as I want it from the front to the back. All right, so I have that in place. And this actually doesn't get secured on the back, but what it does do is it's underneath this piece. So kind of that's going to determine where my piece is, where that is. And my messy desk, what did I do with the cards I just made? Another one in the process. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is a piece of cardstock that's been mounted onto chipboard, cut out and then inked around the edges. And so this is where I want to place this, like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and punch my hole through. All right, before I punch the next hole, I do want to kind of eye it and make sure that it's straight, not leaning one way or the other. All right. So the problem I had with, oh, I shouldn't have moved that just yet. Let me find my hole. There it is. All right. So the problem that I have is with the fabric, me not being able to see the hole on this side. So I have to cut the hole in the fabric. But before I do that, I need to have all my holes in place. All right, because I'm gonna take these brads, they're the office brads. They're longer than the craft brads. As you can see, these are quite a bit shorter, more decorative use. And this is not going to press through the fabric unless I cut the hole out, and unless I fix the hole. So we're going to go in here. And cut in towards where the cardstock is going to be. Okay, that's one thing we have to do. And then on the other side, we're going to widen that hole. Definitely be mindful of where your fingers are when you're sticking something like this through. All right. Put this back across. Get my 4 brads. All right, pick one hole to start with. And get it in the fabric. I don't know how I found it. Ooh. All right. So this should have gone ahead and secured it. I'm gonna go ahead and secure this one. Get back over here. Okay. Move this out the way. I'm going to do this inside one first. Get it through the hole. Oh, that was easier. Gotta have a problem child. All right. Got them both through. And there you go. So we have everything done to the outside to start the other process. One of the first things you want to do, I'll miter. I'll cut this down a little bit, but I'll miter fold the fabric in like this and this and this is how I'll do that to secure it. But I will cut down a little bit of it and secure this across here. I'll make one little cut here so that this portion is under this, and then this will be over here. So that's what we'll do. Thanks for watching.